I don't know if anybody knows this, but this guy right here, he's basically the king of PDK. So. Hey everybody, and welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. I am your host, Brock Benson, and today we have PDK's Vice President of Engineering with us, Evan Orem. Evan is the brains behind everything PDK. He is our lead engineer who really makes PDK what it is for you, our partners. And so we're really excited to have him on today to be able to talk more about what that process looks like and really all that goes into making a top-of-the-line access control product. So thank you so much for joining us today, Evan.
Happy to be here.
So a little background info on Evan. I'll let him kind of run with it, introducing himself. But this last year, I got to hang out with Evan a lot at ISC West, and we did a lot of fun things. We went to the Stratosphere, and I have never heard somebody yell "Righteous, righteous" so much on a roller coaster. It was a great time. So really enjoyed hanging out with Evan there, and looking forward to doing that again. We definitely got to go do something else. A lot of fun.
I forget the character's name in Finding Nemo, but it's the turtle.
Yeah, is it Crush?
Crush.
Is that his name? I think it's Crush.
I think his name is Crush. I was channeling my inner Crush.
Nice. It's been a while since I've watched that movie with my kids. I better go back and do it because that is a solid movie.
It is.
Yeah. Well, Evan likes roller coasters. He also likes Italian food, we found out. But Evan, tell us a little bit more.
But not at the same time.
But not at the same time. You got to do one afterwards. But Evan, tell us a little bit more about you.
Oh, I have loved engineering ever since I got my first computer when I was a kid. I been an engineer most of my life, and saw the opportunity at PDK to bring a lot technically and also from a leadership perspective. I also, part of my career, I've been a part of a lot of great startups. I know what it's like to work at a small company, the things that we are dealing with when we're dealing with a small company, and especially when there's hardware involved. And so that just made the prospect of working at PDK too enticing to resist.
Well, we definitely appreciate that because Evan really has been a very vital part of our team here at PDK, and he has been a big reason for why PDK is what it is today, for creating these unveiling processes and making sure that everything that you guys are requesting is done in a correct manner so that it delivers a quality experience for you as our partners, but also your customers, the end users as well. So, very cool. So talk a little bit more about what the responsibilities of your position are here at PDK.
So I'm the VP of Engineering, and my responsibilities, first and foremost, are to build, grow, and manage a team of engineers that create everything from a technical standpoint that is PDK. It's the hardware, it's the firmware running on that hardware, it's our web platform, it's our mobile apps. All of those things and how they work together in such a precise manner is under my direction.
Yeah, so a lot, right? You're wearing a lot of hats when you do that.
No.
So talk to me about what that process looks like, kind of from discovery to implementation of something. For this example, let's use something like hardware. We just released the new Red lineup, about a little over a year ago. But we were working on that long before that time period. What did that process look like of developing everything from start to finish?
Yeah. The development process is so much fun, and it requires a collective cooperation between so many groups. I mean, it begins in product, understanding exactly what the customer needs. I think at PDK we're really fortunate to be able to have so much experience in this industry.
We do.
And it starts from the top and goes throughout all of the organization. And so I think making sure that takes the first and foremost prominent position in all the decisions is how will users interact with this system is that's where the process begins. In engineering, we look at all the latest technology that's available, all the greatest security practices and methods available to us to make all those visions into a reality. And as far as the Red product line, that was such a fun project. We saw so many opportunities to improve the product from our first generation, and essentially double the capacity. Or capability is what I'm trying to say. Double the capability of this great controller product.
It's really cool. I mean, and for those of you guys who have installed the Red product, and for those of you who have not only just installed the Red, but the previous line, the IO line, you've seen the differences, right? Like the automatic discovery. That was huge, right? In changing from having to do a Lantronix discovery to having our own module on board that you just plug it in and it will automatically be discovered. Mm-hmm. Like, how cool is that, right? That adds in so much more capability and user friendliness to our dealer base.
Yeah, and there's more to come. I mean, there's a lot in our future roadmap for the Red product line. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah. we've got some cool stuff, and some of it you're going to be able to see at ISC West. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be showing that off. That'll be a lot of fun. Other things that we've got that the engineering team has done a stellar job of creating is the ProdataKey app. Mm-hmm. Right? You guys don't just do the hardware, but you guys do everything on the mobile app because we are a mobile first access control system.
Yes,
right?
We are.
So implementing the merger of our touch app and our PDK IO app into the ProdataKey app has been a very fun process, and we've loved it. Right? The ProdataKey app acts as a management device for the software, for integrators, for administrators and managers. It also acts as a mobile credential itself for the end user tenants and employees. So they can use the phone as a mobile credential by just walking up and using the phone, holding it up to the reader, and it scans like it were a physical credential. And then there's also the remote capabilities as well, where you can just go ahead and open up the app and hit unlock on the doors that you've been given permissions to. That's all developed by our awesome engineering team. Mm-hmm. And then there's even the firmware updates. And firmware is really one of the huge benefits of a cloud-based system. Right? We have all of these updates that we're able to push out to the cloud, and it goes down to every panel that's around the globe and updates with firmware. So talk to me about, what's the difference when you're doing a implementation of hardware versus firmware?
Well, that's something that when I learned about PDK excited me so much. It's cloud-based and it's very, very modern. And modern means you're continually getting the updates. You're unlocking the capabilities that hardware provides you. Think of a Tesla, where as you're getting more, as time goes down the road, you're getting more and more value from that product. And so we built our system to be upgradable and in a very reliable way from day one. And so we are very, as far as the process, I mean, we're in access control. You can't screw this up.
It's kind of important.
Yeah, we recognize what a critical role access control plays in the day-to-day lives of all of our customers, and so we can't afford to cut corners or fudge on the processes. And so every single code change we make is analyzed very closely. It goes under multiple reviews. And we have an extensive test system which we use to validate all these changes. We eat our own dog food. And we rely upon some contracted third-party partners to help us find ways to ensure that our system is as reliable as it can be. And only after all these steps have been followed do we roll that out, and we do it on a relatively regular basis. Very surprising to some of our customers.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to have all of our customers benefit from all the work that we are doing here, even after they've bought and installed the product.
That's really cool. Lots goes into this, into making the perfect access control product for you guys. We want it to be a very intuitive platform that really does help you guys to be able to help protect life and property in a user-friendly manner. And it's all thanks to these guys. Yep. Some of the stuff that you guys are working on right now, I know there's some top secret stuff. We cannot necessarily share everything, but there are a few things that I do want to talk about that we are going to have on display at ISC West here in a month and a half. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that. Maybe I can pick your brain, but talk to me about maybe some of the cool stuff that engineering is doing right now to to get products ready for release?
Well, we got a lot of projects going on right now.
We do. The list is really, really long.
Yeah. And they kind of fall into 3 categories. New features, things that our customers have been asking for and wanting. We love the feedback, and we listen to it very closely and try to get the best understanding we can before we write that first line of code. And then the second category is supporting all the growth. PDK is growing. It's growing faster than I think any of us have anticipated.
Yeah.
And so being able to maintain that high level of quality of service from the bottom all the way to the top, no matter how big the system gets, is very, very critical towards how we spend our time in engineering. And the third item is making sure that if there are opportunities to increase the reliability of the system and it's meaningful towards customers, we make that investment. And so that as PDK grows, as customers grow and expand their system potentially, that reliability only increases with it.
That is awesome. So taking all of those different things, is there a specific update or a specific new product that we are working on that we can talk about?
What did you have in mind?
Man, I really want to spill the beans. Let's first talk about the Aux8.
Okay.
So the Aux8, we've had this new input-output board that we have had go to beta. We had a successful beta with it, and we are now getting ready to release this at ISC. So talk to me about the Aux8. What is that?
So the Aux8, it's a great board, and it probably is no big surprise. It shares a lot of commonality with our R4 product.
Yeah.
We've doubled the number of relays and taken off the relay ports, and because there's some space constraints there. But it's really well crafted towards use cases that by a good large portion of our customers helps us. It's perfect for elevators. Our system works. Our system works really well with elevators, and we want to be able to provide the best controller for that use case. Also, it helps us expand affordably into additional use cases for that deal with non-door type applications, dealing with lights, with HVAC systems, sprinklers. Whatever you can hook to a relay, we want to provide that flexibility for our dealers.
That's awesome. And it's going to be really awesome, so be watching for it. It's going to be readily available at ISC West this year. We're going to have it on display, showing it off to the world. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it should be available in distribution at that time period as well. I'm really hesitant to talk about this next one.
You going to do it?
We're going to do it.
Okay.
All right, I can't tease it and not do it, but we've got a new Cloud Node update that we're working on.
Yep. And
it involves a couple of really cool things. Credential self-help. That's going to be one of them. Talk to me a little bit about what that is.
Yeah. So with the rollout, which you talked about earlier, of our new app, we've gotten a lot of great feedback, and one of those pieces of feedback has been, hey, how can I manage mobile and Bluetooth credentials more effectively at the site? Can I spend less time managing and more time installing? And we, taking all this feedback, came up with a great feature called Credential Self-Help. And based upon policies that are set by the managers in conjunction with their integrators, who can coach them on that, but it will allow people to be able to reissue or by themselves request and receive fresh credentials, for instance, when they get a new phone. As you know, digital credentials are tied to the phone and are very, very secure, which is both a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it produces a little bit of extra, in our system today, there's a little bit of extra work that we wanted to smooth out towards, especially phone upgrades, when people lose their phone or do whatever. And it's all under kind of the tight control of the manager. So to be able to be well informed as to when people are doing this and making sure it's all done within their expectations.
Nice.
I know what you're thinking.
You know what I'm thinking, don't you? Okay. I'm just going to tease it. we have also, with this new upgraded, increased the onboard system database memory of every controller, right? Mm-hmm. So that's all we're going to say. Jordan, do not put this in the social media post, okay? In order to learn about that coming, you have to have made it this far in the podcast. But we will also have that on display at ISC West. Yep. So be ready for it. That should be coming very, very soon as well. So you mentioned eating our own dog food. We're eating our own dog food with that right now. So very exciting times. But that is all of the time that we have today. Evan, this has been a fantastic episode. I love talking about this stuff, and I feel like this episode is just, oh man, it's got me really amped. Hopefully it's doing the exact same thing for our partners. But for our partners listening, be sure to subscribe to this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and also reach out to us and let us know if there's anything in particular that you guys are wanting to learn from us here at PDK. Thank you again very much for jumping onto the Big Access podcast. We'll see you next week.